March the 7th, 2026. Guys, you're looking at the continental U.S. satellite image. This is live at 2:10 p.m. Central Time. It's been a hot day today, and this weather's indicating it. Yeah, again, 2:11 p.m., 88 degrees. Real feel is 97, guys, and it's just the first week in March. We're a couple months ahead of time as far as this heat wave. What it's doing is causing a line of thunderstorms moving from Texas all the way up into the northeast. You got moisture pumping into the west coast and the mountains here coming out of Canada, guys. But this is dangerous weather that we're seeing. We're going to get closer. But there's been tornado warnings yesterday in Michigan. There was a tornado that did a lot of damage. And we've seen a few warnings pop up today. Now, what we're seeing, again, the lines coming in from northwestern Louisiana into northwestern Mississippi, covering central Tennessee, going up through Arkansas, and all the way up north. Again, there's severe thunderstorm warnings. Tornadoes have popped up and down very quickly, but you got a tremendous amount of moisture coming out of the Gulf of America. See it all being pumped up into this front that's moving, again, from west to east. And guys, this is what we have on the National Weather Service map. Here in this maroon area, these are severe. And this is the current map from the National Weather Service, guys. Here in this purple or maroon, whatever you call it, this is severe thunderstorm watches. The tornadoes have popped up along this line and north of here. These are tornado watches in the yellow, with the orange dots throughout both colors are severe thunderstorm warnings. Offshore, where this thing is tailing now, we've got marine warnings now. This is going to sweep through the southeast, it started now because it's in Louisiana and up north, but it's going to sweep across the southeast tonight and possibly parts of tomorrow. Because it's starting to extend out into the Gulf itself, you guys in Florida, watch it. Also now, again, we're talking about severe thunderstorm warnings, severe thunderstorm watches, hurricane watches in the top there, and severe thunderstorms. And throughout the day, I was kind of watching to see what it was going to do, and we have seen pop-up tornadoes already, guys, so just prepare. It's starting to get dark here where we're at. You saw that cloud cover start to build up, winds picking up, and it's going to be coming at us, again, out of the west. So everyone prepare for pretty good sized storm moving through. Maybe it will not last that long because it's kind of clear behind it, but that makes it more intense. Again, we are at 97 real feel here now, and that's, again, you're looking at, we shouldn't be seeing that at least until the end of April. But if you remember a couple years ago when we were talking about the International Convergence Zone moving north 151 miles, and that sections of Africa were starting to green because of the increased rainfall, and cities all through the Middle East were flooding because of that. Well, I think that effect is affecting our weather. And what I'm saying that is, with the Earth tilting forward, that's what would cause the convergence zone to move north. Then we are closer to that convergence zone, closer to the warmer air, and it's a seasonal change a couple months ahead of itself. But again, we have some bad weather coming through the area. Let's take some close-up looks at the radar satellite images. Now here, just this would be above Vicksburg, probably around Eagle Lake and that area coming out of Louisiana and southern Arkansas, right there coming into Mississippi now. That's a severe thunderstorm warning. What I'm hoping is this band is not continuing to tighten up like the way I'm seeing it, and seeing this bowing action right there. And it really tails back in here. It's not as tight back in this area because it wasn't until a couple hours ago getting any moisture, but now coming across I-10 running east to west here, we're starting to see it pop up. And here it's kind of deceptive because you saw the first satellite images, and the Gulf itself is filling up with the cloud cover that's going to turn into moisture as it collides with this front that's coming across. So anywhere along this line here, be prepared for it, and that's going to change as it moves through Mississippi, going into Alabama. You're already through central Tennessee, and moving north from there, it's going to Alabama, Georgia, Panhandle of Florida. Be prepared for this. And speaking of the Panhandle, guys, this time of the year, many times we've been out in boats down in Perdido and Pensacola, back towards Gulf Shores, things like that. And the weather can get out of hand pretty quickly, and that's why you're seeing these marine warnings pop off here. So if you're going to be boating and fishing along the Florida coast or Mississippi coast or any of these coastlines right now, be aware of the weather. Don't get caught off in a storm and get capsized. Now let's go north. This is Cleveland right here, Akron. Let's see, we are in Du Bois there, Clarion here, and these are thunderstorm warnings popping up. And this is what we were seeing earlier, and some of these boxes would turn red just for a little bit. But you can see that behind it, it's cooler air this far north. And I don't know how that's going to mix out overnight, but just be aware of it. And again, this is the top of the section we were looking at. Now let's look at a model that goes into Monday, starting this afternoon, guys. And what we're going to see, especially in the southern parts of Mississippi, coming down through Louisiana, going to skate through Hattiesburg and the Mobile area, and it's the second wave in the storm. Let me play this through again, starting today. Timestamps right up here. It's in UTC time, but you'll see it coming through there. There's our first wave right there. As it passes over into Alabama, the stronger second wave is going to start to form. Watch this in Louisiana now. Wider storms, more dense. They're going to come across the Mississippi River right there. That would be Sunday at about 10 a.m. And look at that, bowing out and moving across this entire section here. Pensacola, Mobile, Hattiesburg, the Gulf Coast, from Vicksburg down through Baton Rouge and towards Lake Pontchartrain. And we'll let this play through. This is what's happening now. This is going to start to pass through, and we think it's going to clear out. But the second one, that's really the one that is going to be the most powerful and the most capable of doing damage. So in the areas all the way up through the Northeast, we're seeing a storm line. But I wanted to point that secondary storm out because you'll have strong winds come through and it may clear up for a minute and ease up. But if you can look at models like this, and this one's pretty accurate, then you can get an idea of don't let your guard down quite so soon. Now also, guys, we're watching things in the Middle East, and one thing I'm seeing is a battle in the media. One is saying that Iran's going to hold out through it. It's going to could last for months, and which would be an economical disaster for the planet. Others say that the U.S. is winning very quickly. Now, the reports, and I'm going to try to get one together this afternoon, but are saying that we saw that Iran reached out to many Middle Eastern countries with attacks. But in fact, when we're looking at the actual locations on a map, what they were hitting wasn't basically targets, say, in Saudi Arabia or UAE that were Saudi. These were all U.S. military bases in different areas, and a lot of them got hit hard. Now, what we've got is 2 carrier strike groups there now, right? But he ordered another one coming in I think it's the George H. Bush, possibly, and its carrier group. So we got a third one in the Atlantic. I mean, it's not classified info. We got a third one in the Atlantic, and that group is just as large as the other 2 that are already there. Word from the White House, no boots on the ground still today. But they've got one of the big military divisions. They told them to stand down from going into a training program or whatever they're doing, and kind of prepare. So if it's going to end in another week or 2, why would we send a third carrier strike group there? These questions are legitimate questions. I'm MAGA for the I'm conservative, love my country, But I'm not going to put my head in the sand, because in the fog of war, that can be a disaster. Find all your news outlets. Everything's not going to be correct. We're all going to make mistakes. But right now, there's a battle in the news on who's winning, and it's all both sides. I can see where it seems to be a lot of propaganda, which is part of war, right? You never show weakness to the enemy or anything like that. But again, we got a third carrier strike group going in. We're into day 7, day 8 of the war, maybe right in that area. And what we talked about is each day, it's costing us about $1 billion. And of all the nations on the planet, we are the most in debt nation, way above everyone else. Some are 1 or 2 trillion, maybe, and we're 30s, in the high 30 trillions. But who owns that debt? Our banks, the bonds, stocks, things like that, guys. It's invested in that. So the debt is basically whoever's in those groups. And there's a lot of groups like that in foreign countries. They buy U.S. debt and bonds and things like that, hoping that they mature and they make money. And so, again, we are the most in debt nation on the planet right now, by far, if you look it up. Anyway, watch the weather tonight and keep an eye on the news. Take everything with a grain of salt that you cannot get at least multiple verifications on. But because the propaganda is out there, we're watching it, you watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.